Hi guys, welcome to the Canadiens Cafe podcast. We're back for our first podcast of the 2024-25 season in January. So 2025 first podcast. I'm
First
your
podcast. Yep.
I'm your host Nick, and with my co-host Grant.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so
Doing
uh
good.
yeah, the Habs have been really good lately, eh?
Yeah. Habs have been really good. They're in contention now for the playoffs. Well, for the wild card at least, that is.
Yeah, well that is
And
playoffs.
I
They're
feel like this
on the
was
verge.
the plan all along. Things are clicking, going well. A few little bumps and bruises on the way, but overall, much better outcome. A great December. A really good December and a really good January so far.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of
yeah.
bumps and bruises, you obviously heard what happened.
So that's why I kind of
That
threw that in
bumps
there.
and bruises on the way. Like
So was it in Utah or was it in
it
Montreal?
was
Do we
it
know
was in
that?
Utah. He was
It
crossing the
was in
street,
Utah.
and basically what had happened was someone was driving through a lane instead of being on the
Oof.
proper lane, because obviously the
Yeah.
person didn't know exactly
Yeah.
how to drive. He went through and he kind of, I guess, hit Heineman from what we're
The
understanding.
only thing I saw, I'm not sure who he sent the text message to, but he's like, "Yeah, funny story" or something. I think it was Armia. I think Armia said he got a text from Heineman saying,
No,
"Yeah, funny story"
oh, it
or
was
something like
Pizzetta
that.
that told the story
Oh,
about it.
Pizzetta, yeah.
Of course, the one guy that has to come in to play for him too.
Right.
It was like,
Oh,
no, and his game does not work in the NHL anymore. It's sad what it is, but like
Pizzetta
Pizzetta, well, it works, but
depth
it
spot. He's like the seventh skater.
or
Well, no,
13th
not the seventh,
forward,
but like the
yes,
13th
but
forward. Yeah,
he definitely doesn't have the chemistry with the guys. You can tell.
oh,
Plus,
he's not
I think
playing good.
coming in
Yeah,
yesterday, getting a penalty right away, and starting maybe
yeah,
the worst period easily of
yeah.
2025. You can't
Yeah,
argue
but
that.
could that be because he was on the second line? No, could that be because he's high up in the lineup,
No,
or
this
could
was on
that
the
be
fourth line yesterday. He
this was
was
on the fourth line? Yeah,
Evans and Armia yesterday. So you can't tell me
yeah,
that, like,
yeah,
you cannot
yeah.
tell
I
me that
agree.
that was because he was too high in the lineup. Because he was too high in the lineup before, we would have like double shifting of Suzuki
Yeah,
and Caulfield, and that's the way to go.
yeah, you're right.
But
I mean, but it's not a big loss. I mean, like he's still on the team, he's still doing his part. But yeah,
yeah, I mean,
excuse me.
bless you. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, well, it is a big loss to lose Heineman though. Like he was
It
playing
is
really good hockey though.
3 to 4 weeks. It's not like the loss of the season, but
No,
it
but
is going to
like
be tough.
it definitely disrupts the fourth line a little bit.
It does. It does.
And Jake Evans no longer has the same puck luck. We'll say that at least. But
I
for real,
mean,
we were always expecting that.
yeah,
In December, he shot way above any expectation of any NHL player. Like no one shoots
yeah.
that well. No one scores
No,
on over 50% of their shots. And
he was gonna come down to earth a bit. Yeah.
it was nice to see him get that penalty shot though last night.
Yeah, that's true. We don't see those often, and yeah, that was pretty good from him there.
And Line just continues. He doesn't.
So this is how it feels to have Ovechkin in your lineup, eh?
Yeah, this is what
Oh,
it's like. Oh,
oh,
but it's like Ovechkin and Line are scoring at like better paces than they've scored in. Oh,
like I
like
look at him. Okay, it's not the same spot that Ovi is at, but like I
he's
look at
got
him
his own
and he
spot.
just,
But he
oh,
he scored
he
his
has his own
first five on
spots.
five goal. If you look closely,
Yeah,
it's the same location he scores all his power play goals.
yeah.
Hence, he always knows how to score from one location.
Oh, I love him. What a pickup. Oh, what
I,
a
s-
trade.
I saw a tweet yesterday or last night after the game saying like you do not want to be in the box against Team Finland in the Four Nations Cup.
Oh hell no,
You've got
absolutely
the
not.
leading scorer from the right side, from the left side in line A. From the right
Yeah.
side, you have the leading goal scorer from the right side on with Rantanen.
Yep. And the Four Nations, that's I mean, we don't have to go
That's a
into there,
month
but if
away.
you do want to go into that, because we know the lineups now, don't we? Or not
Yeah,
yet?
now we do.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, that's like you look like at a stat. Well, I mean, Canada apart from their goalie, but I mean, even that you
There's,
look at
but
a
there were some
great.
weird.
There were some weird picks.
Like
Not like the World
Colton
Juniors,
Parayko.
but
Let's go. Let's talk about Colton Parayko. Like, if they didn't have a better option, I'm guaranteed they could have brought someone better than.
Team
But
Canada will always be Team Canada. There's always going to be politics with it. There's
there's
always going to be
politics
the inside.
involved,
It's
and
always going to be the boys' club. You know what I mean? It's always going to be like that.
Montembeau made it over certain guys
I say you play Fleury. I don't know how he wasn't a goalie.
well, maybe age and stuff. Maybe he'll want
He's
a
still
break.
a freak. Like he look how he's on the Wild. Okay, like I mean,
He's
like
good, but
he's
he's more
good.
of a backup now to
He is
Gustafson.
taking more of the backup role, but like he's contributing,
He is
still
still
playing.
contributing. He's still
You know,
playing a good
and
number of
even that
games.
there's how many goalies for there's three. There's three goalies in contention or only two.
There's three. We have
You're
we
telling
have
me Fleury couldn't be.
Binnington, Aiden Hill, who both won Stanley Cups in recent years,
Oh, it's
and
Fleury. Well, okay,
Montembeau.
recent.
It's a re
Well, yeah.
but like the reason
I
why,
don't know.
yeah. So I'm looking here, Flurry. Yeah. So Flurry has one uh won nine out of his 14 games with a 910 save percentage. It's better than all the other goalies that Canada chose. Like I know Montembeau
I know less games, but yeah, like that. Like you
14
couldn't make him
games,
a
but
third. You couldn't make him a third goalie. I think you
he
put him as
spent
a
his
like.
career as a third goalie though. That's the thing.
Okay, I
Like
guess maybe he
when
did
I'm
it. Maybe
talking
look. Maybe I doubt it, but maybe he did it
with
once. I don't know.
behind he was always behind Price and Luongo or Luongo and Brodeur
But
at
look
one
at those
point.
names. It's Price and Luongo. Like
Yeah,
now
exactly.
it's what?
So
Now it's
he would
Binnington and
probably you
Montembeau.
have a good point. He probably would be the best guy for the job
Anyway,
because
that's
of
my
all
gripe.
the years that he had played behind them in like the big tournaments. We haven't had a big tournament since I think 2016,
The World Cup
but
of Hockey, I think,
and
right? Yeah.
I still
Was he in that?
he
This is
must
gonna be
have
a
been
fun exercise. What was the World Cup of Hockey
in the
roster?
World Cup of Hockey.
I'm looking at I'm looking at the World Cup of Hockey right now. The roster. That's gonna be fun. Here we go. 2016 Team Canada World Cup
Yeah, like he must have made the he was on
Hockey.
the he must have been on the roster behind those two goalies I mentioned, but we know Price was the starter. That I can tell you
Here
right
we
now.
go.
Was he not?
2016 World Cup of Hockey. I just need the damn wiki link. Where the heck is it? All right.
The best website to look up these kind of stuff is always Elite Prospects. You'll
That's
get
true.
everything.
Here we go.
It's better than Hockey DB for that kind of stuff, honestly, because you got
True.
every level that they played at. Whereas Hockey DB does not necessarily like show all the tournaments in like one thing. You got to kind of like look
Elite
around.
Prospects
Yeah, he must have.
2016 Team Canada.
He was the Nations Cup. What's that? Hold on.
That's isn't that the Four Nations Cup? Isn't that what this is this year?
No, no, that would be different because the Nations Cup is a different thing altogether. But what did he?
Of
What was the world?
hockey.
Was he not on that? He must have not been on that roster in the preseason. But it's also right
I
after like
have it
he lost
here.
the job to
NHLPA World Cup of
Matt
Hockey
Murray.
2016 rosters finalized by the NHLPA, so you know it's good. It
Yeah.
was Crawford, Braden Holtby, and Carey Price.
Okay, so it was Crawford.
Which
Yeah, and that makes sense at the time.
that makes
It's
sense
just that
at the time.
his time kind of he always fell on the outskirts of the top
And keep
goalies.
in mind, that's when he lost his job to, I believe, was it Matt Murray? Because
Yeah, I
2016,
just
right?
that
That's when he lost his job to Matt Murray. Yeah,
yeah, and that's when
at
his
the time.
career was looking less
Shaky,
certain.
yeah, yeah. It was when Vegas took him onto the roster when he really had his shot back up,
Yeah, he shot back up, and he
when he
had
went to
lost a
Vegas.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of goalies that lost a lot, what's up with goalies in Pittsburgh? Tristan Jarry was put on waivers
Oh
again
my
today.
God, what a segue into that.
So
My goodness. I'm
I'm just
surprised they
thinking
didn't
about
pick up
goal.
I know. I'm surprised they didn't pick up Primo in on waivers when he went. I'm
I'm
very
not.
surprised about
Do
that.
you not?
No?
Primo was the worst goalie in the NHL this year.
Well, look at Tristan Jarry.
Well, now he was the like. If we look at, let me look at the save percentage. I know Primo was
Who's
dead last,
worse?
but where
Tristan
with
Jarry or
Jari?
Primo?
I mean, Primo's definitely not better than Jari still.
No, but to shake things up a bit, don't you like pick him up on waivers? I mean, how much is Caden Primo on the
But I
salary
don't know if
cap?
they were thinking of it going that badly. at first.
Maybe,
It took a
maybe,
while.
maybe, yeah, maybe they thought, okay,
That
Jerry's gonna
was
bounce
three
back.
weeks ago
Yeah,
that
that's true.
Primo was sent down.
And no, Nedeljkovic is with Detroit now, right? He's not with Pittsburgh, is
Yeah.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
he's with uh
Who are
no,
goal?
isn't he
Who are
with
the
Pittsburgh? Nedeljkovic is with
the
Pittsburgh now.
Penguins? No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They have Nedeljkovic. They're fine. Well,
Yeah.
they're not fine at goaltending, but it is better
I'm gonna
than
go
Jari right
here.
now. So currently the worst goaltender that's actually probably still playing is the backup in Carolina, Spencer Martin,
Mm.
846 save percentage.
Oof.
But yeah, Jari had an 884.
Yeah. How many games?
Well, no, sorry, 886. He played 22 games
Ah. Ooh.
this year.
Yeah.
But I think it's also about his contract too. It's an expensive contract. He's not living up to it closely.
At
Sometimes
all.
guys like that get
Now,
sent down.
is
Look
that
at
because of the Penguins' defense? I mean, I know you have to blame some of it on the goalie, but like, I don't know. I haven't really looked at Pittsburgh's defense in a
but
while.
I'm actually looking now, and
Yeah.
he's actually having a better season than Nedeljkovic, who has an 886. It's not much better, or it's actually worse.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's the same.
It's the same,
Yeah, they
but
have the
Detroit's doing
same.
much better, no?
But maybe they're sending the guy with the bigger contract down as a
Yeah.
kind of like a threat, kind of like to
Here, let me go to
that they're
standings
not
real
afraid
quick.
to make some changes because they should make some changes. But
Yeah,
honestly, the best goalie,
Pittsburgh has three more games played, but Detroit has two more wins. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and those are the teams behind Montreal and Ottawa,
Yep.
who
We
are
play
both
Ottawa
sitting
soon, don't
out
we? Oh no, we
behind
play Toronto next. Yeah.
Columbus. Well, we play
Yeah.
Dallas tomorrow night.
We play Dallas tomorrow, then Saturday's the Leafs and Sunday's the Rangers.
One
Yeah.
thing I will say though is that we got our predictions completely wrong for the holidays. We said what, 3 wins, probably like six
They were
losses.
freaking dominant in December, man. They were just I
They're
mean,
seven
besides
two
that,
and one. Yeah,
yeah, they're 7-2-1. That's their record,
they
exactly. I mean,
beat all the
Columbus too, though. Columbus, holy cow, 8-2-0. They're on fire too. Something's
yeah.
in the
Well,
water there.
they've been they figured it out. They're doing it now without Monahan too. I think the hockey gods, Johnny Gaudreau's just pushing them.
They're on a street. I mean, I've seen this before though with Columbus, so I don't know.
What big streaks like this in the middle of a
The big streaks with Columbus. I've seen that before.
yeah, they definitely have that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Washington too. They're no joke either. They've
Washington
just been on a
is
tear.
like the best team in the East, maybe the best
Yeah,
team in the league right now. Actually, I think they are.
they.
But
Yeah, me too.
Montreal beat both the top two teams,
Yeah, that's insane. Washington is leading the Eastern Conference with
and
63 points,
they're tied with the
and with
Winnipeg
less
Jets.
games as well. Yeah,
They're tied with the Winnipeg Jets,
yeah.
and right below them is the Vegas Golden Knights. So the Habs have beaten two of the top three teams. They have a chance to beat another one of them tomorrow night against Dallas because Dallas has now
The season is just so much better when we're competing.
yeah,
Like,
and you can
oh,
imagine. Speaking of like you can only imagine what it's going to be like Saturday night, Montreal, Toronto.
it's gonna be like I don't know, like
Like
adrenaline. I don't know what
the
the like.
last
We know
time
what?
it was this good was the playoffs in 2021 for
Yeah,
the rivalry. Because
yeah. It
the
was.
Habs have not been good since,
It
and
was. Yeah.
there were
Speaking of Leafs versus Habs, I can't believe the Dallas game. Mike Komisarek was there. I like out of all games to not be there. Like, oh
the Mike
my
Thomas.
guy. What he so for those of you who don't know, Mike Komisarek was my rebound because I loved Michael Ryder, and then he had to leave due to free agency, or he didn't have to leave, but Bob Gainey never signed him. Idiot. Went to
Well,
the Bruins.
he chose to leave too. He could have gone anywhere. He went to Boston.
I know, but you should have offered them. Yeah, exactly.
He did
So
offer him, I'm sure, but he had come off a his worst season with the Habs. I'm sure there was an offer on the table. He didn't like it though. When they
Either
didn't
way,
offer him, I can tell you when he went to, I think it was New Jersey he went to.
well, that was near the end of his career too, though, because that was
Yeah,
the last
well,
team that he
near the
played for.
end, like they didn't reoffer him, but he started off really hot his second stint in
Yeah,
Montreal as
and
well.
that's why I liked him. I liked him because of the player he was, and I
He's a
liked
great
him.
sniper. Great
Great
player.
sniper, great player too. Yeah, great sniper.
But
Oh,
Mike
I just.
Komisarek, you know
Anyways, yeah.
what?
To go back to my commissaric. Also, so my first favorite player left for the Bruins. My second favorite player left for the Leafs. So I stopped picking favorite players after that until
Yeah.
around 2017
Oh, with Delorier,
with the Laurier,
who
exactly.
has not played for the Bruins or the Leafs. So there you go.
No, although he did like Bobby Orr growing up, so I'm a little suspicious on that.
Okay, well,
But I mean, it's Bobby Orr. I mean, even I like Bobby Orr as
yeah,
a Habs fan. I'm gonna say it exactly,
everyone loved Bobby Orr.
exactly. And Ryder won the cup with the Bruins, so there is a little sweet spot there. But
Yeah.
all of this to say, Mike Komisarek is my rebound second favorite player. I got his jersey with my own money. He's the first jersey I ever got with my own money. I loved him. And then Backstabber went to Toronto, but I guess now it's all good because here he is just chilling in a Dallas game for no reason in Montreal on a
Well,
Saturday
he
night.
will always be more of a Montreal guy than he
Yeah,
was.
from 2002
But
to
he got
2009.
his payback going to Toronto. He just never
Yeah,
found his game again. Like he was
no.
not the
Well,
same guy.
I mean that Leafs team was a graveyard, and you can even ask Leafs fans
Well,
that
yeah,
they know it
it
was
became a graveyard really
dark
quick.
ages. Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
It's funny because they
so
had got
oh,
that was also the year they got Phil Kessel. So you think, okay, like their rebuild might end and they might become a middling team, but no.
no, never turned out that way.
And
But
then
hey, they're where they
they
are now. Still not good, but well, I mean,
well,
on in
they're gonna
regular
make the
season,
playoffs. They're gonna win
they're good, but kind of
it
like the
doesn't matter.
Vikings.
It doesn't matter.
Kind of like the Vikings. It doesn't matter how many you win in the regular season, the
Yeah,
playoffs.
and tell that to Sam Darnold, eh? You must
Yeah,
be loving that.
I'm still a little sour
He
about
lost
it.
a lot of money though.
So that's the thing. What I am. So I have had time to process this, and I'm just gonna take my little minute here just to talk about the Vikings for a second.
Yeah.
We didn't sign him to a big contract, thank goodness, and we're gonna change our roster a bit, hopefully, and we're just gonna pretend this season never happened. That's just what we're gonna do.
Are you guys gonna go with McCarthy as your starter next year? Or?
I hope so. We're probably gonna give Daniel Jones a chance to see if he can win his spot because
You
they're
know
probably
what? You
gonna
might as
compete.
well just have a vet that can like
So that's
show
what we
up.
said. That's the whole reason why Sam Darnold took over because yeah, he's hasn't had success with San Fran. He hasn't had success with the Panthers. He hadn't had success with the Jets. Had his shot in the with the Vikings roster with the roster that we had, which we're technically rebuilding, and he did what he could. I never really gave in to Sam. Like people who know me know my opinions about him when we signed him. Wasn't a
Yeah,
fan. Didn't think
you
he
didn't
can do
like it
it.
at all.
And here we were, freaking 14-3. Well, I mean, like when we were 5-0, we were also taught, like, hey, like he could be the real thing. I was never sold on it, and then he started winning and winning and winning and winning, and I said, hey, maybe we have a damn chance at this. And then the last two games of the season happened, and reality
When
check.
it matters most.
It showed that he, and again, I don't want to put it all on him because the play calling was atrocious. I don't know why we weren't sticking to the run game. We should have stuck to the run game because we knew that was working.
Yeah,
Nothing
Aaron
was getting
Jones.
into the passing lanes, and the passing lanes that Sam Darnold was throwing were not even passing lanes. They were miles above his head, missing open receivers. And then the playoff game that we had versus the Rams, you just have receivers dropping the ball, interception, fumble. Unbelievable. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Viking season's over. That's it.
Yeah. Now
Done.
and now you at
Wasted.
least lately, at least while the Vikings have struggled, you've had the Habs to
I've
do
had the
really
Habs
well.
freaking shoot up, and at least I have that.
Yeah, they've
So
shot
we
up,
have that. Yeah.
but it
And
seems like
if there's any consolation prize, Teddy Bridgewater is on the Lions. Go Lions. Go Bills. Sorry. Okay, fine. You know what? No, go Chiefs. I hope they three-peat
thank you.
because God damn it, if my Vikings are 2-0 in the Super Bowl or whatever it is in the Super Bowl, if they want to go back to back and they want to three-peat, go Chiefs. I hope they win a
Yeah,
three-peat.
that would be
And then the
the
Vikings
best
win.
thing to have a three-peat for the Chiefs.
Ugh. I
That's the
can't
most
wait. I know it's never going to happen again because the Vikings are never going to make the Super Bowl again. But
ever
I
again,
cannot. I mean, look at this team.
unless
Look at this team. I mean, I really like. It's going to take a miracle for them to make the Super Bowl at this point. But I really hope that we do get a Chiefs Vikings Super Bowl
yeah,
again.
I mean that would have been nice. But anyways, so back to hockey, like,
That's the football corner. Sorry about that.
but yeah, so back to hockey.
We
Like,
were talking about goalies. We were talking about contract. Not contract. We were talking
yeah,
about goalies. We were
well,
talking about
we were talking a bit
the
about the Four
stats
Nations team originally.
a
That's
bit
where
there
it
too.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to go back to the Four Nations tournament, like, I don't know if Canada has the best roster, but
No, but it's
they could
closer
beat
than the
the
World Juniors, I
USA a
think.
few times. I think it comes down to Canada and
Ooh.
USA.
Well, we just talked about Finland.
Well, Finland, yes, but if you look at the depth on their roster,
The
it gets
Canadians'
pretty.
downfall, or the Canadians, Team Canada's downfall will be, I think, the goalies.
Oh, for sure.
Um, Team USA's downfall is, I don't want to say depth because they
They
have depth.
don't have a downfall. I
They
don't
don't
see
have a
it.
downfall.
No, they're the one team that I don't. There's some weird decision making with guys like Chris Kreider making the team, but it's not
Yeah, but
necessarily a
he's
downfall.
good. Yeah, it's not even a downfall, I
It's
would
not,
say.
you could say that there's some better players they could have taken as all the teams
Yeah.
except for Finland. There wasn't seriously they could not Finland could not ice a better hockey team than they did.
No.
They
No.
physically can't. That's the
No.
difference, and that's why
Yeah.
Finland, like, it it is what it is, and they're gonna finish probably third or fourth. Sweden,
As much as I hate that it's only four teams, like four nations, it's gonna be a good tournament.
it's gonna be like also depth, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
down lower in their lineup as well, like Finland.
Yeah.
And yeah, US, I can't see a real downfall.
No. And even like you can't, no, you're right.
They're beatable though. They're not
They
unbeatable,
are. They
but
are.
like they don't have like a glaring true issue. And some fans might say like, "Oh, I can't believe Cole Caulfield didn't make the team over guys like Chris Kreider." But it's not Chris Kreider that's taking the role that he would have.
It's not, yeah,
It's
exactly.
Austin Matthews
It's Austin
and Kyle
Matthews
Connor.
and for now they are better. Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle
Yeah.
Connor is one of the like
Wow.
five guys I
What a
think
season.
ahead of Caulfield in goals.
Yeah. What a season, man.
Didn't,
Oh, even
how
the
many goals did
Jets.
he score last night? I know he scored a
Oh,
few.
last night, I don't know, but Kyle Connor has. Let's take a look here.
Kyle Connor must have 25 goals, 26. So yeah, he
Wow.
I think he had a
Wow.
hat trick last night because I swear he was
Who
at
did they
20.
play? Here, let me see. Let me check. They played
Yeah, he was on fire last night.
Winnipeg. Play. Oh,
And
they played Vancouver.
and you know what's crazy? Arguably the best player in the NHL this year won't even be in the tournament at all. Leon Draisaitl. He's
Mm. That's why.
probably
So
been the
that's
most
why.
consistent player for this
I
season.
mean, yeah. I mean, I hope one day, or I mean, maybe they do it better with more teams.
Yeah.
They find a way to incorporate more international teams. I get
Yeah.
why they couldn't,
I like,
but
well, that's why the World Cup of hockey was good because it wasn't just four nations. They had like,
some of Europe, they
they
had the
had,
North America.
well, obviously Russia would be part of this, and maybe we would
Yeah,
have six teams instead. It would be like a Six Nations Cup or something
yeah,
if Russia was around because Russia would obviously force their way into it.
yeah.
But the point being is that, yeah, the guys from other European countries
Would be able to
are
play.
being left out, and
Oh yeah,
I
well,
think
yeah.
the
We're talking
second
about
best
USA.
player.
Yeah,
So yeah, well, third best is Russian, and we understand that, but we gotta
yeah,
stop. We gotta start letting Russians back into
yeah.
international
It's
hockey.
not their fault they went to war. It's
No,
not the players' fault.
it, some people say, oh, but like you're gonna give them attention to their war, but like I don't think it matters. I think the players just want to play, and if that's
The
the case,
players just want
then
to play exactly.
if that's the case, have them run under like an independent like
Yeah, you can do
team
that.
thing, and they could do that.
Yeah,
And then I guess for like a 5 or 6 nations cup, guys like Leon Draisaitl can join
I
that
mean,
team.
like, look, when they were the Soviet Union, we let them play,
Yeah, and that was worse.
right? And that
That's
was
arguably
worse.
worse, you know? I mean, I think the war, the Russia-Ukraine war,
You can use hockey to bring it together. You really could,
yeah, and
and we used to.
that's what 72 uh Summit Series was. That was some of
Yep,
the greatest hockey ever played.
yep. We look back
I
on that
mean,
like it
I
was
wasn't
legendary.
born, you weren't born, but apparently
No,
that's some of the greatest hockey, and it brought both countries together.
it
It
did.
brought peace a little
It
bit.
did. I mean, the play until they fought and stuff, but like that's
Yeah,
fine.
well, there
It's
was some
hockey.
dangerous stuff. Bobby Clark slashed Valery Karlomov's
Yeah.
ankle, broke his ankle straight up on the
I
faceoff.
don't think we're at that point though. I don't think it's like I don't think the NHL players have a vengeance because Alexander Ovechkin is Russian. I don't think
No,
that at
no,
all.
they don't
You
care.
know?
They don't care
Exactly.
about that.
I think they're
That
past
time
that.
is over. But
Exactly. I think hockey they're able to play the game properly. Like I think that they're able to like the politics behind the countries are not there. In Russia they will be, but like they're not like you look at the Russian players. If there's a team Russia in the Olympics, it's not like going to be like the way it was with the Soviet Union. You
no,
know what I
and it's
mean?
never gonna be the same.
And it's never going to be that way again. I don't think. Or I hope not. But
No,
you know,
there will never be. But there's a lot of like athletes who are upset about Russia, and I'm sure some like wokeness to it will.
I get the anger, but it's also
Like
the sense
you
of like,
saw
well,
what
the guy just wants to play hockey.
Yeah, you
You
saw what
know?
Dominic Hasek said about the Habs going to see Demidov. Now that was good because you see
Yeah,
what they did. They gave him more. He got more ice time because of it. Now that
yeah.
and he's
The Russia like
spectacular.
the KHL has always been like that. They like
Did you?
especially when they know when the player's gonna leave, they always treat them unfairly like that. So I wasn't too worried about that,
No, no,
but
but like he's getting
it is
some
good
ice
for his
time.
development. It is good for his development.
Did you see his goal on Monday
I
where
saw the highlight of it. Oh my goodness.
he kind of
I can't wait for it to
flips
be up.
around and puts it top corner?
Yeah. I really can't wait for him. He's amazing and he's
He's
gonna
gonna be
be a great
incredible.
the fact that we already drafted him is insane. Like he's ours, you know?
Yeah, he
Oh
belongs to us, and we're not
yeah.
going to get a guy like that in this upcoming draft. So we
No.
better cherish this guy.
Yeah.
We're not getting that this draft.
Another player that we should be grateful to have, Lane Hutson.
Oh my
Just
God. Yes,
continuing to make a name for himself, continuing to do what he does. How old is the kid?
he's 20.
He's 20. Like, oh,
He's
so
incredible.
many years.
He's the greatest defenseman I've ever seen. Like he's better than PK
Yes.
Subban. PK Subban was
Yes, he
spectacular
was.
when he came in the league, but he didn't have this like oh well, I don't know like this ability to just kind of like head
The
fake.
players are getting better and better every year. So that's what it
Well,
is.
players are getting better and better, but like, and you could see his brother too. The Hudson
Had
family is
to.
going to be insane.
Yeah.
Good for
Yeah.
Washington got a steal too
Yep. They did.
by taking him 47. I can't believe after Lane Hudson, like we kind of knew Lane Hudson was going to be like a stud.
There was talk about him
Why
and
did
and
Cole fall to the second round? Like it doesn't make sense after. I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't get.
things happen.
I mean,
I
he
don't
had
know.
a bit more of a rougher like draft year, I would say, than
Yeah,
Lane,
you can
but
say that.
still, he's still
Yeah,
incredible and
absolutely.
maybe just as good.
Like I knew the hype for Lane Hudson was there, and I was looking at him like, yeah, okay, like I can see him being an addition to this roster. But the
Yeah.
fact that he's like, is he not like leading the Calder votes right now or something like
Well,
that?
he's leading in the Calder points, and it's a good
And the
thing
points,
because
yeah,
on Christmas I was talking with my uncle, and he convinced me to bet a few dollars on
on the
Lane Hudson
Calder.
to win the Calder. His odds were at plus 800.
I still have
I
my,
checked today; the
I
odds are
still
at
have
plus
my plus
210.
what? Oh my god,
The odds
that's good.
were well, the odds were on Christmas plus 800
Yeah,
for him to
yeah.
win. Now they're at plus
Oh
210,
wow,
and Celebrini is still leading. The odds makers still have Celebrini as number one. That's fine.
understandable. I mean,
It's
he's doing his thing. It's
well,
close though.
Michkov probably was number one back then too, but
Oh,
Michkov
beginning
fell
of the
off.
season, yeah,
He had a
yeah,
couple rough weeks
yeah.
there.
He had a drought or something. Like he had a slump at some point in the season, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's I still have my Cole Caulfield Rocket Richard bets
yeah.
for two
I got rid
dollars.
of that. Like I ended up cashing out on it just because
Okay,
I was thinking when Line came, I was like, okay, it's over. He has
right,
no. I saw that I can
right.
cash out on it, so I cashed out. I honestly, but I am liking what he's doing. He is top 10 in goals, and had an incredible season. He's only
Yep.
1 point behind Suzuki for the team lead in points.
Yep.
That's
Yep. They're
incredible.
right
And
there. That's good.
Lane Hutson officially is leading the team in assists.
There you go.
Good for him.
Good for him.
It's a fun, it's a fun team, and it's not
Uh,
just Suzuki and Caulfield running everything anymore.
yeah,
It's
everything seems to be clicking
it's
now. Things are
clicking,
in
except
motion.
for I am worried about Slavkovsky's point totals, but he is finding his game again. But for
They gotta share it. They gotta share the load. If someone's getting points and he isn't, then that's what it is. Like it's
yeah,
it's not
he's
gonna be.
fine, and I'm pretty sure he's fine with it.
Yeah,
It's just it's definitely a little frustrating for to watch
yeah.
him at times. But like the game against Dallas, he had no points, but he had 7 hits and 5 block shots.
Did
Like
his part.
he basically played as good of a game as you could play without
He
getting a
did his
point.
part. He contributed
Yesterday
if
he
you ask
was
me.
Last night he wasn't as good, but he's never stood out in the matchups against Logan Cooley. It kind of see that's something I don't love is that you always see Logan Cooley running around the ice like it, and it's hard to watch. But I think the number one pick in that draft,
Was Logan Cooley.
what should have
It
been
was
Logan.
Logan.
I think it's Lane
I
Hutson.
mean, oh well, okay. If we're going to like, I thought you were talking about like top three.
No,
If
no,
you're
I'm
talking about a
going
complete
full out now.
redraft,
If we were to do a redraft, I think Lane Hutson is going to have a bigger impact on his
makes
team
sense.
than Logan Cooley. Well,
Yeah,
then again, Logan Cooley can be a number one center, but I think he's too small to matter in the playoffs. He looks too shifty and too small to really, but I could be wrong. Although I
I
haven't
mean,
really seen
yeah,
much from Jack Hughes in the playoffs yet. But also the same thing can be said about Lane Hutson come playoff time. They're both small guys,
yeah,
so we
yeah.
don't know what's
That
gonna
that's
happen.
why that's why I think like yeah,
You could flip. It's a flip of a coin.
it's a
And
flip of the coin.
is Logan Cooley going to be a regular number one center? We don't
I
know.
think he. Oh, I think he will
He's
be.
looking that way though.
He's looking that
He
way. I
looked
think he will be.
fantastic last night.
Yeah, yeah,
He's amazing. But
yeah.
so is Lane Hutson. We're lucky to have that. Slavkovsky, I think we knew would take a bit longer to fully break
It
out.
was
It's a lot of
yeah.
ups and downs with that kind of player
But
though.
I'm not worried about him. I'm really not because at the end of the day, we like the ceiling is there, and he's still like
I
there's still potential for him. You know what I mean? He's still a young guy. He's still growing. He's still playing,
He's still a top six forward no matter what. He's at
and I
least a
still see him doing the right
second
things.
line center.
I still see him doing the right things. Like, okay, yeah, he gets frustrated when things don't happen, where things don't go his way, or when he loses battles. But it's growing. It's growing pains. And at the end of the day, you're not going to win every battle. Like I've said this before. Like you're not going to win every battle. You're not going to win every shift. But it's the retaliation. It's the getting back up. It's the battling. I'm not worried about him at all. The team is clicking. We're winning. Those are positives to look at.
And I think just playing on that, it'll help him in the
It
long
will.
run.
And if we're
And
nitpicking
I
everything,
think
fine, then we can nitpick it. But you gotta
it's
stop
not
picking the scab.
going, and even like a good example of a player like that, Alexis Lafreniere. It looked like him too. He looked like
He was on the trade block, wasn't he?
oh yeah, he is.
And then they
But
traded Kako.
well, no, that had nothing to do with that. They were always going to
Oh,
trade
okay.
Kako.
Oh,
That had
okay, okay.
nothing to do with that. But
Okay.
it's an up and down thing.
Hmm.
We'll continue with the Rangers after, but I just want to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
finish with the Lafreniere. Like Lafreniere too. Like he's had a lot of ups and downs, and even now it's not even that great either.
Yeah, and
It
he
seems
the
like this
way
big type of power forward. Like some of them look like they broke out. It was Slavkovsky, Byfield, and Lafreniere. They all look, but they've all had some major struggles at points this year.
yeah.
I'm
And
liking Slav's overall play over the last couple games, though.
me
He's
too.
not
Me too.
basically getting the points, but I just wanted to like talk a bit about it. Like,
Sure.
where do you see it going? Is it a little
I
bit of a
see it.
worry? I mean, it doesn't
Like I
seem
said,
like
I'm not worried about it. The fact that we're winning games, I'm not worried about it. If we were to lose, then maybe I'd bring it up more and be like, okay, maybe it's not clicking, maybe it's not working. There's something going on here. Um,
but yeah.
but not every player on your team can be the best.
Yeah,
you
no.
know,
And right now
so
it's all Lane Hutson, Cole Caulfield, Nick
those
Suzuki,
guys are
Patrick
clicking, and you
Laine.
know what? Let them click, let them
You know
work,
what? And yeah, it forces
because
Slav to
when
not
they're
be as
because
much of a
when they're not
rush.
stepping up, someone else has to, and I feel like then it'll be his time. I
All
feel
right.
like then he'll be the one to step up.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna just take a quick break.
Yep, sounds
And
good.
we'll be right back.
All right.
All right. So we're back from our little break. Welcome back to the Canadiens Cafe. As we were just talking before about Slavkovsky, so I don't know if we're completely done with that topic, but yeah, he seems to be progressing. Do you think that the overall struggles from the season of maybe not going in as physical or playing a little soft might be
Um,
behind him? Because the last like 3, 4 games, he's kind of like been a little more physical and it's kind of helped his overall game. That's what helps him
maybe
defensively,
that.
offensively.
Um,
He can skate more when he's playing
yeah,
more physical. What he does need to work on though, and I heard it on the broadcast last night, is to drive to the net a little more on the power play. Like there was one time where he had got a good shot off, but he could have drove a little more in front of the net to get
yeah, I
a
see
better
that. And
chance
yeah,
to
I
score.
think maybe he was playing soft because he did come back from an injury a bit, um, early in the season, I think it
Yeah,
was.
but
But
the
it was a
softness
minor
was at the
injury,
end
but
of December.
yeah,
The
and
game
maybe that was him just maybe like letting the game come to him a bit. Maybe it was
can't he can't do that. Yeah. And another
no, I
player that
know, but it's him maybe trying to find out
yeah,
like
and it's a
what he
learning
can do.
experience.
Yeah, yeah. So I
That
don't
could be
really
it.
like blame him for that, but
I'm
excuse
wondering if it's the same thing with like guys like Lafreniere and Byfield. Like maybe Byfield is learning that
yeah,
too because he's had a pretty rough season himself.
he's had his struggles. Yeah, he's been having a tough time there too. Yeah,
But I think it might just be the style of player. Like, they're not
it
guys
could
that are going to
be.
get 90 points a season. They'll get you
Yeah,
60 to like 75 points a season at their best. And
yeah.
Slav is a bit younger than them, but he also is not maybe the type of player that we were all expecting. Like he's not gonna be a Mikko Rantanen. He's not gonna score 50 goals. He's a guy that's gonna get more assists. Someone
I
made a
feel like
comparison.
yeah, I
He
feel
may
like
be
he's like
closer
the power
to
forward, or not
power
maybe not the
forward,
power forward,
closer
but
to like
two.
Joe Thornton
Yeah,
than a Mikko Rantanen. Nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no,
As long as
exactly.
he plays his
And
physical
I feel
game.
like he's gonna be like rather than the guy, I feel like he's gonna be like the supporting cast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel
The
like yeah, he'll
guy
be that guy.
The offensive guy, I can already see it's going to be Ivan Demidov, mixed with obviously Lane Hutson from the back end and Nick Suzuki at center, unless we get a better
Yeah,
center somehow. It's still possible.
it could be
Because a lot,
Davidov, but um, or no, it could be yeah, it could be Suzuki. I mean, I see that he's already captain. He's a great leader.
yeah,
Um,
but it's possible that Michael Hage becomes better than him. He's
Page,
got a
that's the
lot
guy
of
I was
good
thinking of.
tools. He can drive the middle pretty well. He skates similarly to Jack Eichel. Now I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Jack Eichel. I do not think of that as the case, but I do think that he plays a similar style of play
He
where he
does.
drives up
He
the
does.
middle with his offense.
Yeah, when you talk to me about him like that, yeah, I definitely see it. And I don't know, Suzuki is our number one guy right now,
But
and I feel like he will be for a while.
yeah,
But like
he
you
will.
said, there is Hage that is growing up in there, and I feel like he is the guy who could take over for sure, and
But
he'll be the guy. But until that time comes, then yeah,
yeah, there's no way that Kirby Doc will ever be more than a second line center.
he's
That-
improved since we talked about him.
yeah, no,
So
and
he
we were having
has,
issues with the way
and
he
we
was
were,
playing. But
he
the
has.
truth was we had to be patient. But it's showing now that like he still doesn't have a proper defensive game yet. But I
No,
think he just never had that defensive game. And
no,
that's
I never saw that in him. Yeah, I
no,
never saw that
he
in him
hasn't
either.
had that defensive game to be a proper two-way center yet. And I think
Yeah,
a lot of people are forgetting that because he is getting his offensive game back. Did you see last night's goal like where he
it
went in
was
and
sick.
beat? I'm not
That's
talking
that.
about his second goal. I'm talking about the first goal. The
Yeah,
obviously the
yeah.
second goal I think was a little fluky. Like it was perfectly placed.
It has
It
to
wasn't
happen
an
though.
overly
You
hard
know.
shot.
Well, yeah, but he did the right thing, and it ended up in the back of the net. That's what's gonna
I'll
happen.
take it. You can't.
Yeah,
You don't always have to score the nicest goals. You know, like sometimes
don't.
you'll just have
Honestly,
like
you
a
don't. The goal looks just as pretty when it's a rebound in front of the net. Trust me.
or off your butt and in. You know,
Off your butt and in whatever
don't
way
want
the
that
puck
to be your
goes in, that's
first NHL
legal.
goal, but some players have
Oh,
that like that.
I will gladly make that my first NHL goal. I don't care.
Remember
But
Lucas Condada's first NHL goal? It was a
that
bit
was sick.
odd. Do you remember like how
I do.
it
Yeah, went
kind of
off his
like
butt, didn't
bounced?
it?
Speaking of which, who would you call up now with Heineman out? Because would you actually play Pizzetta every game? They refused to play him more than 5 minutes a game. He played three. How much did he play last night? I think it was 3:45. He played. He barely played.
Yeah, but he was in the box, so
Well, he was in the box for 2 minutes.
yeah.
He played 10 seconds and then went to the box and had to come back out.
I don't know. I feel
After
like
that,
did they shorten the bench? I feel like they did, didn't they?
yeah, they always shorten the bench when he
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
Every game that he plays, they've shortened the bench. He doesn't play in the third period. They don't trust him enough to
No,
play.
yeah.
So this is a
So
thing
like,
like you were mentioning before, like Pizzetta, like he is a guy. Well, yeah, he is a 13th forward, but when he actually has to play and you're trying to win games, it's not just about development anymore. His minutes go down a lot. Like I understood last game, and I wonder if or I mean like when he was playing on the second line last week there, I understood that. But ever since he played only after his penalty, he only played another 3 minutes 40 in the remaining game, and that was 10 seconds into the game. But
yeah,
I do think Marty screwed up by playing that fourth line to start the game.
yeah. Me too.
I think it works well when you have Heineman, but when you're
Yeah,
missing Heineman, you're putting Pizzetta. It's not the same player at all. And
no, and it's a different role that the line has to play. You
yeah,
can't play the fourth. You can't play the fourth line like you do with Heineman that you do with Pizzetta. You can't do that.
and you can't. Well, the truth is, you can't play a style with Pizzetta as you can with like Evans and Army are two different players, and they fit well with Heineman. They don't necessarily
Yeah,
fit that great with Pizzetta, and I think that was what was seen last night.
yeah.
What I don't understand is why the Habs didn't call someone up like today.
I don't know.
Maybe
Well, how many minutes is the guy gonna get?
I mean
Is it
the
worth
guy
it?
could get like a good like
So you
10,
asked me
11 minutes.
who would it be? I'm thinking Joshua Roy.
I
I'm
wouldn't put Josh.
thinking,
I would not bring
but I
Joshua
wouldn't put him
up.
either. I'm
I
just saying,
would.
like, who are the guys that we called up before? So like
Um, I mean, we could always bring Luke. The
Luke
reason why
Condotta
I
back
mentioned,
up.
yeah,
He would be the guy,
Luka
right?
Kondada
But does
always
he
play.
does he not? But does he not have the same role that Pizzetta has?
Well, it'd be a little bit more. He's got more skill to him.
A
He
bit
can.
more, I guess. I mean, yeah. I
So,
you give
but
it. I mean, maybe it's because maybe you give the benefit of the doubt to the sophomore, right? Pizzetta's well, he's an NHLer. He's the thirteenth
he's
guy,
a 13th
the 14th
forward,
guy. But
and he can work in certain situations. But I think the type of identity our fourth line has built, he doesn't fit, and he doesn't fit anywhere in our lineup right now. There
at
is
least you gave
nowhere
him
he
the
can
shot.
fit. It's
So
not physically possible.
I think St. Louis did the proper thing. You gave him the shot to redeem himself, or you gave him the shot to like prove his spot in the lineup. Now that you've done that, now you give it to Condada. Now you
Well,
say,
yeah, but
okay,
we have to call him up. Is he going to be called up before 5 p.m. tomorrow? Like they got to make
maybe
that un
yeah, exactly. They have to,
unless they've
yeah.
already informed him. I'm assuming that Condado would be the first guy to call up.
Me
It'd
too.
be the easy pick.
And
And you don't
I
need
mean, they're
and
in Dallas, right?
if there was
So
a
yeah,
guy that was if they knew that Liney's illness was going to last 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure they would have called up Joshua because he could play in the
yeah,
second line.
yeah.
But
Maybe it's because
there's
they're out
certain
west,
that's why
Utah
when
and
you
then
got to
Dallas. Maybe
yeah.
they're waiting for the home game. Maybe they're waiting for that because they'll let him play in Montreal, not in Dallas or Utah.
Yeah, well, thing
Could be
is,
that.
yeah, like maybe they just want to play those two quick games. But I just thought, okay, like why not just bring someone for Dallas? It's not after watching last night's game,
Yeah,
you really gonna play 11 forwards? You're basically playing
yeah.
11 forwards if you think
You
about it.
are.
You're gonna play on
Yeah,
a
you are.
shortened bench. Are Mia and Evans just gonna play like a kind of more of like a role player where they just come out to play their big
Does
defensive minutes and
Pizzetta
that's it?
does Pizzetta have to pass waivers if he gets sent down?
Yeah.
I would assume so, right? It's a one-way contract he has. Yeah,
Yeah, we're not. He's not getting sent down.
but it would be scratched.
Yeah, he could be scratched.
Is there
Either
anyone
be a
else
healthy
like
scratch or
so maybe because I'm thinking like what the Canadians are allowed to travel with what 25 guys, and
yeah,
they could only dress 23 of them, right?
no, they can have 23 guys on their roster, not
Yeah,
including the injured players,
right,
and they must dress well, obviously 18 plus the two goalies,
right.
six defensemen, 12 forwards, the two goalies, and then there'll be the guys up in the press box.
Yeah,
So there's definitely room on the roster. Are they trying to
yeah.
save money by not?
I doubt it. I mean,
I,
maybe
I
it
think
could be a possibility, but
some teams do that, but like, and I'm wondering, like, if are you really gonna force your team to play 11 forwards against Dallas and just take the like
that doesn't
that's
make
gonna be
sense.
hard.
Yeah,
Dallas is a good team, and
yeah.
it's hard to play a guy like Pizzetta against them.
Let me see how many
But
games play Pizzetta has.
and you're not forced to play Pizzetta. Like you can. The thing about Line was the Line illness that had Pizzetta playing. There was
Hmm.
always a chance that Line could play every day. It just
True.
depended on how sick he was, or
There's no significance to the games played, so yeah, no, it's weird.
no, no.
Very
He
weird.
would still. What are you talking about for like waivers?
No, for Pizzetta, I was gonna see like, is there any significance like if he played that game? But no, there's no milestone game.
No, there's no.
He's on
He
career
doesn't
game
have any milestone
183.
games
No, he's on
anymore.
career
He's
game
not.
183. So yeah, I don't know.
Wait, he played 183 games in the NHL.
Yep,
That's a really good career.
yep.
No, because I don't know if he. Because to me, I always saw him as like once the Habs are ready to compete, I don't see him being a guy that will play much, if at all. And we're kind of
I can
seeing that.
understand his role. I can understand why you need him in like not in the lineup, but like I can understand why you need him on the roster.
Yeah,
But
he's a good guy in the dressing room. Like,
yeah, he's the guy. In my opinion, Pizzetta's the guy where when you don't want Jack Guy to drop the gloves and get kicked out of the game, you have him do it instead as a like as like the
yeah, if
sacrifice
you need that for a certain game, like maybe against
if
like
you
an
need
Ottawa
that. Which
or a Toronto,
so
if you
maybe, but so that's what I'm saying though, because like we're playing Toronto Saturday, we're playing the Rangers this Sunday. I don't know why Utah and Dallas would be significant to that, but
no,
yeah,
like the
I don't know.
thing is, I understand they couldn't call someone up. It was very rushed on the Heineman thing.
It was
But why couldn't you call someone last night or
because
today or
you're allowed to have emergency guys. You're allowed that.
yeah,
NHLPA allows it.
yeah, like and Condada is the perfect guy for that. He seems to
Could
play
be.
a role that he can
Is
hit.
Laval playing somewhere today or
Well,
tomorrow?
no. Well, they're playing in Laval tonight.
Yeah.
Condado is on the ice. I don't love the fact that he's playing tonight, but it is what it is.
So
I
maybe
would
that's. Could you imagine they call him up after tonight?
Well, yeah, it would be weird though. Like
Yeah.
normally you would think like he would know by 5 p.m. and he'd be sent
Yeah.
off to a plane towards Dallas.
Right.
I didn't see anything about like healthy scratches for tonight.
Mm.
Is Jared Davidson playing? I've heard people mention that he could be a guy that could have been called up.
Right.
But like there's certain guys that you just I don't I would have loved to not see play tonight in
Yeah.
Laval kind
Yeah.
of thing, you know?
I do. No, I would if I was the one in charge. I'd definitely question why he's not in the lineup for Montreal, especially
Yeah.
after the night that Pizzetta has. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it
It's a question mark.
but it's clear that he's playing tonight. I don't think they're calling
Unless
him up.
because
It's a fantasy thing that I wasn't really realizing as I was talking. But yeah, it sounds like he's not gonna be called up. Obviously,
yeah,
it doesn't look like they're gonna make a call up if the guy's playing
yeah.
tonight.
Unless it's
But
because the
why would you force a guy to be called up in emergency when you already know the team's
yeah,
situation? Plus, you have Newhook that's kind of sick too. He has the flu.
yeah,
He's playing
it's
with the
going
flu, and
around. But
it's
unless
going
you're not
around.
changing the lineup, but unless you're not changing the lineup because you're winning, that can be a valid reason, right?
But but why would you throw? But so are you afraid? Like you have to take a guy, right? You have to add someone. Um, would you not want to like just instead of Pizzetta put in a Condada or a Jared Davidson? I've heard that Jared Davidson might be the guy closest resembling Heineman in the
I don't know.
organization.
Maybe someone's going in their ear like, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe that's what it
And
is.
and just continue to play 11 forwards tomorrow and have Pizzetta play like a two maybe one shift a period because that's what
I
they
don't know
couldn't
how
do.
long it's gonna last, but I mean, look, if we're like, how many wins in a row do we have?
Well, right now we have three. No,
Three in a
no,
row
no. This is our first win in a row
because
because
we
we
lost
lost
in
to.
the shootout or overtime. Yeah, shootout. I think it was. Yeah,
But no, we've won seven out of the last 10.
yeah.
It's not broke, but the
No,
team is broke. But like, you don't pull a guy out of the lineup to play someone, but but you have to add a guy because someone got hit by a car. I mean,
yeah,
you got to add someone,
you
and
do.
I think it puts a lot more stress on some guys if you have to double shift all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna force Caulfield and
I don't know.
Suzuki.
Is there anyone on Utah or Dallas that's I don't know, like someone that Pizzetta would square up against?
Probably. I mean, there's a guy on every team pretty
There's
much
nothing. There's no one
now.
on the lineup that I know of. There's a guy on every team, yeah, but like, is there a reason why they wanted to play specifically tomorrow night?
No, there's
Like
no
the game
reason to
versus
ever play
Dallas, the one
Pizzetta.
on Saturday,
There's rarely
well,
ever any
very
reason
little,
to ever play Pizzetta.
very little, yes. But I don't know.
There's
Maybe I
not a
don't know
real
because
reason to ever
I
play
don't
Pizzetta.
remember anything that happened the Saturday night that was like, no, we need to have Pizzetta in the lineup for tonight or
No,
tomorrow
no,
night. I don't know. It's a question
no,
mark.
nothing happened.
I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer, and I don't know. But yeah,
It
yep, you're
wasn't
right.
even
I
really
would.
that
Yeah, Condada or
physical.
Davidson. It
It
wasn't.
overly physical or anything. They didn't need
No.
to. Oh no, Oh yeah, no, sorry. They out hit Dallas like 30 to like 8.
And part of
They
that was probably because of Pizzetta.
Well, I mean that definitely helps a little bit. No, Pizzetta didn't play.
Oh no,
That
it's
was
true.
the
He
first
played
game
only
Pizzetta
after.
didn't play.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. He
That was
played
the
only
game that Pizzetta
afterwards.
didn't play. So
Yeah.
it didn't actually matter.
So
But
there's literally no reason then.
no, no, you could throw Condada there. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You could throw anyone there.
I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, like, you want a guy that can maybe bring more skills. Maybe I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe they really just gave him like a punishment last night. But I don't want a guy to play 3 minutes. Like, you don't want a guy that you need to have come in for them because they're just not
the
able to
only
keep
thing
up.
I can see is maybe they were giving him a shot to redeem himself. Like, okay, you're in the lineup, but like then they cut him on the bench. There's I don't understand.
Well, no, you couldn't last game, but I'm saying like games like just Dallas tomorrow, you could bring someone else up to
I
play.
think you could.
You don't need
Um,
to save that much money. It's not that serious.
I don't even, but I don't even think it's the money. To be honest with you, I really
What
don't.
other reason could it be besides money or like you got guys like Condada and I guess Davidson could be the type of player too that can go up and down for their career. I mean, there are
Right.
guys like that though, and it's okay to have them.
I'm looking at the Rockets roster right now, and yeah, I don't know. There's also Barboulay, but I think
Yeah.
he's pretty much stuck in Laval. I
Well,
don't
I
see
don't know.
him
Like,
getting a call up.
he could also be the type of guy that could come
Yeah,
up.
he's been that guy for like a bit early in the season.
There's a few guys that you can bring up,
Yeah,
but I just didn't agree with like not bringing someone up today.
yeah. No, I agree with you there. I don't understand why you didn't do it, or even like, well, I mean, yeah, it would have to be today because they play tomorrow. So yeah, you're right. And
Yeah,
there's
so right
no
now,
news of a call up or anything either.
no news today.
Nope.
They just decided to go. They're just going with it again.
Yep.
Maybe they like the roster the way it is, and maybe they like to play 11 forwards, and they just feel that Pizzetta should only go in for like one or two energy shifts.
For some
But
reason,
Marty should know that to not start Pizzetta tomorrow because that.
me. I mean,
But
I feel like he has the say in the lineup, so it would be him. But yeah, nope, nothing.
you feel like St. Louis has no say in the lineup?
No, no, I'm saying like I don't think that like that Kent or even like higher up would be like no, you can't have him. We want to keep Pizzetta in the line. I don't think they do
No,
that.
no, no, they wouldn't
I
have
feel like
that.
St. Louis has control of who's in the lineup. I feel like they gave him that.
Yeah, but no, like everything is clicking well.
That's the
Suzuki was
only
on a
thing that
big
I think
point
of.
streak that got snapped
That's
last
the only
night.
logic that there is because it's clicking. We're winning. You don't want to change
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah, everything's clicking overall.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
few like ups and downs.
yeah,
I'd say, well, now everything's clicking because my other down point was probably Jaden Struble.
yeah. He's
But I
still
think
young,
when he came
but
in
yeah,
for Savard, it was clearly a rust thing. The first game he
yeah.
came back, he was
Yeah,
getting beat
yeah,
easily.
easily.
It was
And you
clear
can
it
pick
had
it
something to
out.
do with rust. Like
Yeah,
he was just rusty.
I find he passes it in the middle too often, especially for a defenseman.
He should pass it more along the boards.
Pass it more along the boards
Yeah.
because the middle is horrible. You
So
can't turn
some
the puck
guys
over like
can
that.
pass it up the middle if you're Lane Hutson
If you're Lane Hutson,
or
exactly.
Uri
Right?
Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky
Yeah,
has that
but
ability
he's
to.
also a forward. Yeah, but
Yeah, but I'm saying like he has the ability to. I know we were saying things about Slavkovsky, like he just needs to improve. One thing he doesn't need to improve on, his vision up ice. The way he just
yep,
passes
I
the
love
puck.
it. I love it.
That's
He's a
probably
great
his
person
main
to break it
skill.
out. Yeah,
You got Lane
yeah.
Hutson, and then
And Lane Hudson does not look down. I love that.
no,
Lane Hudson, try to play a game where see if Lane Hudson's head is down. It is never down. It is always up. It is always looking around.
oh
And I
yeah,
feel
he's always
that's a
got his
great
head
quality.
fakes.
He
Did
always has his head up. I love it. I love it.
oh did you,
He plays hockey like
so
101. I
confident.
love it. So
He has all the
confident.
confidence in the world.
Yeah.
Did you see what Corey Pronman said about him though?
No.
Like he had like the top like players under 23. He ranked Hudson the 39th best player under 23. He had Slavkovsky the highest for the Habs at 14. He had Demidov at 16, but he had Michkov at 6.
It's a topic.
It was weird. It's a weird
That's
list,
weird.
and it was all to get people talking, I think. When
It
you're just trying to
worked if
get
that's
a
the
lot of
case. Yeah. No, but to
like
speak
it
on
is what it
Hudson,
is
I
there.
love his play. Yeah. To speak on Hudson though, like I love his play. I love what he's doing. He's ours.
Yeah, and
And it's
we're lucky
just
to have a guy
that
like that.
we are
We need a
very
guy
lucky.
like that.
We haven't had a guy like that in a while. So it's very good to have.
Yeah, and it's cool. Now we're gonna have like a like elite defenseman and elite forward together.
That's all we asked for. This roster is competing. That's all we asked for. And it came by Christmas break.
Yeah, it took till Christmas break. Yeah,
I feel like Line was the jump start that this team needed for it.
and
And
then
ever
the
since,
move to
yeah.
get Carrier. Carrier, he
And
just
oh my, what a brilliant move. Yeah, him too.
yeah
Yeah, that was a great one.
yeah for a depth defenseman.
A sound depth defenseman. Yeah, love it.
Well, we got him for a depth defenseman, and I think he's a number four defenseman in the NHL. He's a second pair defenseman.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. He
When you
fits
put
in
you
right well.
put him
He fits in
next to like
well
a
with that
guy
spot.
like Gooley,
Yeah, he
it
fits in
works
so.
well. They work well together.
Does he not? I don't know about you, but like I find like he calms him down a bit. You know what I mean? Like I know Goalie played with that edge, but
Yeah.
like I'm not saying this is like a bad thing. Like Goalie is a very good defenseman as well. But I find that he plays more controlled when Carrier is there.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
more controlled,
I
and
find
he's
that
able to
the
play
pressure's
his.
off.
He's able to control the puck a bit better, not
I
panic as
find
much.
yeah, I see
He's
that a
able
lot.
to. They seem to complement each other really
They seem to
great,
complement each other really good. I agree. Yep.
and that's it. And that's why the Habs need someone like that for Hudson.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Matheson should not always be playing the right side, and Matheson won't be around for much longer. Whether
No,
maybe
he's not.
after the contract, I don't know. But after the contract, maybe he becomes a third pairing defenseman, and that's fine. But he'll play
Yeah.
on his left side. He's a left-handed
Yeah.
defenseman. At worst, you play him on your third pairing,
Yeah.
and he's like a
I can see
veteran on
that.
your third pairing, with
Yeah,
the
if he
upcoming
wants to
contract.
stay, for sure.
But the guy I want to look at is, can Reinbacher figure it out? Can he stay healthy?
Yeah, that's a big question mark too there. And
You
that's
know,
a
he
big can
started
of
skating
worms.
today.
Good. Yeah. I wish him the best. I hope
He,
he can play the way he did without his injury.
yeah, it's
But
good though that he started skating today of all
yeah.
days.
Yeah. Like look, I'm not giving up on him now because like
No,
his career just started.
but it
But
is a little
there's a
scary,
question. It's fuzzy and there's a question mark there.
and there
But
is some
there's a
point where
but.
you like, do you want to at this point, do you want to go out and draft? Because you're probably gonna have the 12th or 13th pick in the draft. Maybe you go and get like a right-handed defenseman to kind of solidify just in case.
Yep.
There's
There's
this
no
guy
problem.
Logan Hensler who's at the University of Wisconsin. He's not a
Yep.
bad defenseman. He's not overly great,
He's
but
just
he'll
that
be
sounds like a 12th pick to me. Yeah.
like he's top four They're
Okay.
saying he's the best right-handed defenseman in the draft. At 12 or 13, he might be worth taking a shot at
Yeah.
if all the top offensive talents is gone, you might as well take the safe defenseman.
I don't have a problem with drafting insurance. Now, again, there's no guarantees, but
No,
you know,
no. And the Habs are going to have two picks around that range.
I agree. Yeah.
And they might pick the guy from the Armada there,
Yeah.
Justin Carbonneau. He's pretty good too. He just
I
creates
mean,
offense.
the last Carbonneau we had for the Habs was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those worked out well. So maybe
Yeah,
another Carbonneau.
the last Carbonneau that played for us was
But
worked out pretty well.
ideally, there's
Yeah.
another guy, Caleb Denoyer. Like he would be
Hmm.
good if,
I heard of
but
him too.
he'll probably be gone
Yeah.
long before the Habs pick.
Yeah. We're in a sweet spot right now because we're in a spot where we're competing and we're battling. At the same time, we can still grow our prospect pool. So
Yeah,
it's still there, you know,
there's still
which is
some
good.
pieces missing.
It's a
Like
sweet spot. It's the fun part right now of the season for
yeah,
sure.
and
Yeah.
you'll have guys who can fill in roles. Like we'll see who. It looks like our top six is almost set up though.
It does. It does.
You got. I'll even throw in Hage there at worst because the only thing I'm not sure about is will Patrick Laine stay after the contract?
I think he
So
loves it here, and I think he would. I don't
you
see
think
why
he'd
he
be
would want to
okay
leave.
taking maybe a little less money to stay than he's making now? I can't see. And he also,
I don't think he's the guy that you give less money to.
but yes, but he's also being overpaid for a guy who has trouble staying healthy. It it's hard to say.
It depends where he finishes off in the season. If
I
he like
mean,
I mean,
he has 10 goals in 15 games. That's incredible.
right? If he continues at that pace, then I mean, well, you do have to
Actually,
worry about the injuries.
this summer
But
we have to first thing we got to do. I know we signed Slavkovsky early. You got to do the same thing to Hudson. I don't care.
absolutely.
You let him
Absolutely.
take what you want. He's going to be your highest paid player
Cool.
coming
I'm down with that. I'm 100%.
after. He'll have another year left on his contract, but after that, he becomes your highest paid player.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
I can't see him getting less than 8 million per year at this point.
No, no, especially where the cap is going, I think you give him that and that's so if you want. So yeah.
They're saying that about the cap, but one thing that tends to worry me a little bit is the Canadian dollar. And no one's talking much about how the
Yeah,
Canadian dollar.
but they get paid in American though. So
Yeah, but like it's still the Canadian dollar would have an impact on it, no?
well, cost of living.
Yeah, cost of living, and it becomes weaker though for like the pricing for tickets will obviously get higher
Well,
just to
yeah, because
kind of
we're
make up for
also
that.
yeah, and it's also going with what where they are in the season too, right? Like, you know, if we're competing for the playoffs, then yeah, tickets are gonna go up because we're getting good again. So that was always gonna be a
But
factor.
yeah, the Canadian
Um,
dollar is all of a sudden under 70 cents. So
yeah,
that's but that does affect the salary cap a little bit.
it does.
You can't deny that that has to.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't, but yeah, it's there. But I mean, they've
I
like look,
they're
we
they're
had to
saying
wait.
it's going up. It's going to be up 9 million in the next 2 years. I hope that's the case because that gives you
Yeah,
an entire contract.
it does. It gives
Plus,
you that. And like plus like the NHL existed throughout the recession in the States when 2008 hit. So they've worked out this stuff before.
yeah, yeah. Well,
And
that obviously affected the. But I think that right now Canada's dollar is the lowest it's ever been compared to the U.S. In
yeah,
the past like 15 years since the recession, easily.
yeah, it's
And
definitely something that to think about for sure.
I feel
But
like that hasn't been taken into account in these articles that I've been hearing because I feel like
that's
that
very
has to
true
have
because you're the
some
first
more of an
person
impact than people realize.
it will, and you're the first person to mention it to me. So yeah, no,
Well,
it is
I
real.
heard
It
Grant
does
McKegg
exist.
say it on a podcast
Oh, cool.
recently, and that's kind of where that got me
Where it kind of
thinking.
came
I'm like,
from.
yeah, our dollar is like really weak.
Yeah, I mean,
It's good for like foreign exchange, but whatever. Anyways, back to finishing up this podcast
It's
on
something that's greater. It's something that's out of our control in the sense of like, okay, fine,
yeah.
like it, you
Yeah,
know, it's something that
we
you
can't
can't really
negotiate the salary cap and all that. It's not
exactly.
it's just a thought of like what the
It is a
actual
thought,
cap
and
will
it
be.
is. Yeah, it is. It is.
But
And
yeah,
I'm sure
so
the NHL will do something to. Well, I mean, maybe not because Gary Bettman hates Canadian teams,
yeah,
but
but I'm worried about teams like Winnipeg and stuff, and which may have a
yeah,
weaker, but still Montreal is still the like, and Toronto are still some of the highest like salary wise, or they bring in the most profit in US dollars
they do.
wise. They're like
Yeah,
top five in the league
we're
anyways.
always top five. Yeah, and it
Even
makes
though our
sense.
dollar is weaker, you could just
Yeah,
imagine if you flip that in, all in Canadian, our dollar, we're probably making more than technically in our dollar wise, we're making more than the Rangers for the league, but
about that.
that's
Yeah, no, you're right.
crazy. And speaking of the Rangers, I don't know what's going on with them. They're a complete mess. Because you mentioned earlier that Lafreniere was everyone's on the trade block in
Oh, right now they are. Yeah,
the Rangers. Everyone. There's not a single player that's safe, and
they
that's why.
went. I've never seen a drop off so fast. They went from literally like they're the favorite to win the cup to are they going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah, and I
It's
can't
that
see it.
drastic.
They've got so many problems that I can't see it. I cannot see them
Yeah,
making the playoffs right now.
yeah.
They're far from it.
They are literally out of the playoff spot. They're
Well,
500.
well,
That's insane.
they've gotten a little bit better, but and on paper, if you they probably should be the team that makes the playoffs. If there's one team that's out of the playoffs that
Yeah.
should, it's them. But are they going to? Because they
I
still don't have
don't think
anything together.
I don't think
Everything
they
is
can catch Carolina. I don't think they can catch New Jersey. And the way Washington is playing, I don't think they can catch Washington
they won't catch Washington.
at
Actually, they
all.
can't call.
They
Washington
can't.
is 7 points ahead of New Jersey, or 6 points ahead of New Jersey. There's
Yeah.
no one's catching Washington.
No.
It's like no one's
Well, I
catching
mean 6 points is 6 points, but I mean I see your point though.
6 point. Well, yeah,
They're on pace to act like yeah, to finish first.
another team. Yeah, they had the craziest downfall.
Yeah.
Even though they're now playing okay hockey, but the Habs had their big up. The Rangers
Yeah.
went down so hard,
They have. Yeah.
and yeah, no, we'll see what happens with Columbus if they can continue.
I hope they do. I mean, that'd be a big victory for them if they do.
Yeah,
If they make the playoffs, it's going to be interesting.
yeah. They make the.
And I feel like that's also going to
I
win them
feel like
some free
Boston's
agents
gonna
too.
miss.
They
The games
could.
played,
This
Boston.
this
Watch
this
out,
would
they're
be the year
fault.
for them to miss. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time. They're going to
We've been
miss.
saying that for how long?
No, it's time though. Now it's different.
Oh,
Look at the team.
I am looking at the team.
Point percentage wise, they're behind Montreal.
Yeah,
You put it in point percentage wise,
they
they're
are.
likely to miss.
They are likely. We'll see.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
should
they
be.
are in the wild card.
Yeah, but I don't think it will be much longer. They were on a
No,
huge
like the
downfall.
games played. The games played does factor into. They do have two more games. Yeah,
Three more than Montreal and Ottawa, though,
three more than Montreal and Ottawa. Yeah,
and Detroit.
and Detroit because Detroit has 43 as well. Yeah.
Also, I think the Rangers will pass the Penguins. The Penguins have lost a couple games right now, and I think that's probably why they sent
Yeah, I mean the whole Tristan Jarry thing was really what screwed them over too. So I think they
Tristan
can.
Jari, uh, Alex Nedeljkovic. It's the whole goaltending thing with
It
them.
is. Yeah.
It should be an interesting time. It's going to be a very tight race
It's the
overall.
it's good that the Habs are winning these opportunities because now the teams are like the team like not the bottom feeders but like the teams that are struggling are really like showing it, and the fact that we're just winning and winning and winning it really like helps like where we stand as far as it goes like where we are with the team and the roster. So the
Oh
fact
yeah,
that we're winning these games it really does help the guys and it really does help like
Yeah, it
where we
helps them
stand with
mentally,
what
but
this
also
roster, yeah, where it
helps them
stands where
mentally, and
these
it
guys
helps
are
them
roster. Yep.
overall.
Yeah.
In our division, the only team that's not really catchable is Toronto and Florida. They're gonna make the playoffs, and
Yeah, Toronto's on a bit of a losing streak, but nothing really to worry about.
they don't have to worry
Um,
just yet.
no,
And Tampa is
no.
kind of figuring it out, but
Yeah,
Tampa always will.
yeah,
So will Florida. It's that those three teams are making the playoffs, and it's now a fight for the wild card, and that's what the Habs are going to do. They're not
yeah.
fighting to win one of the three
No.
spots in the division. They're fighting
Well, I
for
mean, if they get to that point, all the better. But
that
yeah,
would be better, but no.
yeah,
But I would also rather play Toronto than play Florida. How about that?
I agree with that 100%.
Whatever, wherever
Um,
Florida is, yeah, I'd rather play Toronto.
yeah, a cool one
So,
would be Tampa. Just
yeah,
like a good little test to see where we're at there. Toronto, Montreal first round would be insane.
insane. Yeah. Well, I could see,
Um,
yeah, I could see uh, a Florida Tampa series, and then a Montreal Toronto series. That would be insane.
that would be insane.
But as it stands right now, if like the well, because we know Boston's gonna fall out of the spot that they're in. But
Ottawa would be cool too, but they're also doing good though. I mean, well,
no,
they're
if
they're
you look
okay.
by
They
point
won three.
percentage, they would be playing. If you base it off points percentage, they'd be playing
Yeah.
Toronto right now. So
Wow.
Ottawa is doing really well. They've
That'd be
won
a
a
good
few
round of
cup.
playoffs too.
They've been getting good lately.
Yeah.
It'll be a very interesting race.
Yeah. I can't wait for like the rest of the season how it plays out because
Right now, I'm looking at
this
it.
season right now is
Boston,
yeah,
Columbus, Ottawa, Montreal, Detroit. I think they're all like right in the middle of it. These
yeah,
five teams are fighting for two
contention,
spots.
contention. Yeah, I love it.
And the Rangers can turn it around and come back. But I don't
They
see
could.
I don't really count Philadelphia and Pittsburgh in the real contention.
Same. I agree with you there.
Yeah. Anyways, so this
Yeah.
is so what are you expecting for the next three games? Dallas,
Back to
Toronto.
back. Hopefully we can win one of them. It is well, the Rangers are struggling, so hopefully we get both. But I feel like they're gonna come out angry.
Yeah,
If
so
we
I'm
can
gonna
get two,
say
if we can get two out of the three, I'll be happy.
yeah, that's what I'll say. Anyway, so yeah, two out of the three. So
Yeah.
and I think they're beating Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If we can keep them losing, then that's a good thing.
All right, so yeah. Yeah.
All
So
right.
anyway, this has been your Canadians Cafe podcast.